Hello and welcome to today's video. I'm here with Healthy Dad, my father, who is on the Slim on Starch program and is absolutely rocking it. I'll put up a little before and after photo, and we're gonna walk through what he eats in a day. So we'll start with breakfast. You can go through everything. I'll talk a little bit about it, then we'll move on to lunch, so on and so forth. And then we're gonna do a little fridge and pantry tour, and he's gonna tell us what he uses in the fridge and pantry here. So here you go.
Well, for breakfast, what I have today is what I have every day. So I do have a large glass of orange juice, which I enjoy. And then I have healthy multigrain toast. And I have that with peanut butter. And this is flaxseed meal. And your favorite, long story, but it's funny because now that this is the way I have toast, I can't have it any other way. And kind of like when Mom and I will talk about some of the things that we eat, we never get tired of it. People are like, do you get tired? No, the answer is no. So that is the standard fare, and that's usually between 5:15 and 5:30 in the morning. So it's kind of early, so it sometimes can be a long slog until lunch, but that's what it is.
Okay, so this is where men and women are very different. For you, this is a perfect thing to have. You like to make sure that you get in enough calories, you go and work out, you golf. You have to have a hearty source of calories at the beginning of the day. I think that the reason why you do very well with this breakfast is because looking at what you used to have for breakfast, it is such a massive improvement. Whereas if a female starts having something like this, it is really calorically dense, and so it could put on weight for a female, but for a male, this is a perfectly fine option, especially considering I feel like you used to have like cream cheese on toast.
On a plain white English muffin. With a glass of milk, because I thought I was supposed to. Those days are long gone. I mean, it was, cream cheese is probably you'd call it a comfort food. It's good for your soul, but not really good for your body. Yeah,
so this is a massive improvement without the dairy, with vitamins and minerals and nutrients and lots of fiber. So this is a great breakfast. And I always think of, do you remember what you used to tell me about orange juice in the morning?
I don't.
You would say it gets your heart started, but you said
right.
It with such a thick accent.
That's my father used to say that.
Get your hat started.
Kickstart your heart.
So whenever I see orange juice, Slim has orange juice in the morning, I says, get your hat started.
Yeah, I guess the vitamin C gives you a kick.
Okay, so why don't you tell us too, because this is such a hearty breakfast, I want to back up the fact that you do so much in a day. So after you have that breakfast early in the morning, then what do you do? It's different every day.
Right. Now fortunately today it's getting kind of warm, so I will go for a bike ride after this, and that'll be about 7.5 miles. I'll put on plenty of layers, so it won't be a problem. It's not windy, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday I go swimming at noontime. During golf season, obviously we golf. I golf right after breakfast, so then it can be again those three things. It can be golf, bike, swimming. Golf, bike, exercise. So, again, it's a good way to start the day that I know it burns all that stuff off because I need the fuel in the tank to make it work.
Perfect. So now we're going to go through what you're having for lunch today. But again, that's different every day because it's usually leftovers from the night before. So what is today's lunch?
Well, today is chili, and I made chili. Hold this. I made chili on Friday because Lisa and I were in different directions on Saturday. This chili recipe will be in the new cookbook that's still under construction. I think there's a writer's strike or something. But and it's kind of funny because when you had me put the first cookbook together, you asked about specific measurements. I don't measure anything. I really don't. And the mix of beans that are in this chili this week may or may not match what I do the next time. Sometimes it can be a matter of what beans are on sale or what the store may or may not have. But that's today. And, again, as a rule, when we make dinners, and we'll get to what we're having for supper tonight. So I'm going to have a problem tomorrow deciding what I'm going to have for lunch tomorrow, because there's going to be options. But having that mindset that we've been doing it that way for a long period of time makes it so much easier that the next day. And when I see people that live near us and at 5:30 at night, they have no idea what they're having for supper. So what do they do? They go and get pizza. Again, nice short-term solution, but really not the way to run an airline.
Yeah, this is on the cook once, eat twice, and doing something that your future self is going to thank you for, and to make the decision, especially deciding what you're going to eat when you're well fed. If you decide what you're going to eat when you're super hungry, it's like going to the grocery store hungry. So if you make enough supper the night before, then you've made the decision when you're nourished, you're relaxed at the end of the day, you've decided already that tomorrow is going to be a successful day because you have those leftovers. And chili freezes really well too. So I have some clients who once a month, like you do with your veggie burgers, they'll cook up a bunch of soups and stews. I have a healthy soups cookbook. Freeze it, and you can freeze it even in individual servings. I've seen on Amazon they have those silicone, they're like kind of like ice cube trays, and you can freeze single servings of soups too, and then let them thaw overnight. Okay, so I'm gonna move the camera and then we'll move on to supper. Okay, now on to supper.
All right, well, supper, I thought you were coming later in the day, so I had you in mind what I decided to have for supper.
Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't text me back.
I thought, whatever. It's neither here nor there. It's more for me. But anyways, so tonight is Kung Pao tofu, and that was a recipe that I created last Super Bowl Sunday last year when you just know people are home, and of course it's cold and it's dark, and the thought process of actually putting it together and making it work and making it tasty was the crapshoot. I said I'll try it and see where it gets me, and it landed its spot in the rotation. So Kung Pao tofu. Obviously, we start with tofu, which we air fry, and we air fry it plain. No marinate, no nothing. And then we use sliced celery, sliced peppers, onions, two kinds of onions, sweet and red, and sliced water chestnuts. So, and it's really an easy recipe. It doesn't take long to make, because you just cook all this stuff, and then while you're air frying this, you create a broth with the liquid aminos and the balsamic vinegar and water. And the only ingredient I didn't bring out was cornstarch. And you put the peanuts in, and you kind of bake all those together, and it gets kind of syrupy. And you put it on high heat. When it starts to bubble, you know you're in the right place. Turn it off, and then really we just mix it all together, and we have it over either pasta, and I've gone with fettuccine noodles, really the wide ones,
like lo mein.
Yeah, or white rice, and some people gravitate back and forth. I tend to prefer the pasta over the white rice, but that's it's neither here nor there for a lot of people, but they're both good. So what happens when you talk about supper? Here's the Bible, and the Bible is the shopping list. And on the shopping list, you can see what we have each day. I write down what we're planning on having each day. And typically, you see this conglomeration there. That is Thanksgiving without the turkey.
I want to see if I can figure this out. I'm going to hold it up to the camera.
Yeah.
So the shopping list starts on Fridays because you grocery shop on Thursday.
Friday.
Right. Oh, Friday morning.
Yeah.
And you make the list Thursday night.
Right.
So Friday, LO, leftovers. Saturday, Mexican stew. Sunday, leftovers. Am I right?
That must have been the Thursday. That must have been Thanksgiving. Look up in the top.
11/29.
Yeah, so that's the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay. Monday, PRBCLPORCC.
Lettuce, onions, peanuts, raisins, celery, carrots.
Okay. Tuesday, pasta. Wednesday, leftover. Thursday, veggie burgers.
Yep. Typically, again, as we've talked before, Monday through Thursday tends to be static. Those tend to be steady. But, one Friday night's leftovers, it's the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So chili, pizza. We made pizza. We had Mexi, tofu salad, portobello, Sandy's. Oh, doctor. Chili again, Mexican stew. We get to that time of year. Veggie burgers was on Fridays because something was happening on the Thursday. But yeah, I mean that's how it works. And so there's about.
Do you start by planning the week of meals and then?
It's well again, 4 nights. 4 nights are covered. Mm-hmm. So I need to come up with 2 meals, and then again, you don't want to have, we really don't want to have the same thing Friday, Saturday, Sunday every single week. Mm-hmm. So the good news is there's 6 or 7 different things there that we can go through, and so that like this, we had this. I think the last time we had this was 3 or 4 weeks ago when you came over for supper, mm-hmm. and I think it was 4 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So it just didn't come up in the rotation, as we would say.
Yeah.
And again, this time of year, like chili or a Mexican mm-hmm. stew is a good meal to have on a Friday and a Saturday, especially if we, You
keep using that phrase.
I retired that phrase. But it still works. And again, a lot of these meals, again, if we have someone over like you, we have it in the living room in front of the fire, and it's mm-hmm. really nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really nice. So that's supper for tonight, and again, and that may come up in the rotation again in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. But then there's stuff in the old cookbook that we'll make periodically. I think tofu ginger mm-hmm. Was the term I was trying to think of. Slightly similar but different. Mm-hmm. How it's made. Certainly a lot of the same ingredients, but again, it ends up being truly a different dish, probably because of the broth of the syrup that we make mm-hmm. with that.
Okay, cool. So we'll clean this up, and then we're going to go through the fridge and the pantry, and Healthy Dad will show you what he has there. I would be remiss if I didn't mention daily supplementation. Vitamin B12, if you're on a plant-based diet, it is essential to supplement with vitamin B12 because you're not likely to get enough from your food. And vitamin D3, 43% of the population is deficient, especially if you live in climates like we do in Massachusetts where you don't see much of the sun. And for women post-menopause, this is going to be especially important to make sure that you are allowing your bones to absorb calcium and to prevent osteoporosis. So these are linked in the down bar. They are my supplements, as you can see here. No GMOs, no oil, no gross stuff. Vegan, clean, premium ingredients. Because all the other ones that you'll find on the market are nasty and they have all of this stuff in it, but mine is the cleanest you'll find, highest quality. Little disclaimer here, you will see Healthy Brother lives here, so you're going to see some of his food in the background. So if you see things and you think, what the heck? Those are not part of the Slim program. It is because there is other food in this kitchen that Healthy Mommy and Healthy Dad don't eat.
So we'll open this door, and what I see, seltzer. I'll have a seltzer couple a week, maybe. This is fermented onions. Oh, gosh. Cookbook under construction. Fermented onions are just awesome.
Those are actually in your cookbook.
I think it's in my next cookbook.
No, they're in your current one.
Are they?
Yeah.
Well, they should be in every cookbook. Here's my go-to. This is my Slim on Starch, but this is cold water. And I'll tell you, there's nothing better to drink than cold water. Let's see. Over here, I got my orange juice, my flaxseed, today's yunch.
Turn and show me.
This is my flaxseed that I've had in a jar because it comes from here, and I do like it. I do like it in the fridge. This, of course, is today's yunch, as we talked about before. This is chili, which we have a lot of now. I always make sure that I have a package of tofu because if ever there's a hiccup or something happens, and it has happened, where mom's either had to work late or something came up or just whatever, because you air fry some tofu with some pasta and make the broth we just talked about, it's a lifesaver. So that's the fridge. Oh, and then down here we have lettuce, the vegetables, lettuce. There's always some kind of sliced onion in here because we're onionholics, and then the celery and the carrots, which I think most everybody knows what they look like. Down here, what I use is my bread. Oh boy. So here's a couple of, we're down to 2 weeks worth of veggie burgers, which means I got to make another batch, and that takes a while, but you know, for the two and a half hours that it takes every 3 to 4 months, it's worth it. So we're coming down the home stretch on that. It's a good thing I realized. And then up here, we have the pasta sauce that I make, and again, we're coming down the home stretch on that. We only have 2 left. Our fridge doesn't look full because the stuff turns over very quickly because of what we've got. It tends to be fresh. We use it and then we replenish it the next week. So perfect. That's why. I don't have much going on here. You know, you can see, and again, I store all the beans upside down because I figure that when they're sitting in the warehouse forever and a day that they're right side up. So I store them upside down. But what you can see, I only buy low sodium or no salt added. All right. So to keep but again, we've got all kinds, and I got a lot of chickpeas because that's what Mom uses to make her hummus, and I really load up when they're on sale. So vegetarian baked beans, and ironically, the Stop and Shop label, as we read the label, is a better label than some of the brand names. I won't name any specific names, but it was actually, you know, for me and for us, we kind of like the taste of these better anyways. Again, tons of store brand pasta because we eat a lot of it. And then for me, my flaxseed meal, which goes on my toast every single morning. And then what I use, of course, is the balsamic vinegar as part of my homemade dressing. And then with the kung pao tofu that we're gonna use tonight. And that vinegar is kind of in lieu of rice vinegar, just because I had it and it seems to work for us. But really, I don't do much in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
This part of the
All right. So here's my coffee machine. I do drink coffee. My doctor took me off caffeine because of a medical situation he wanted to assess, and ironically, so now I drink decaf coffee, and it's not been nearly as calamitous as I thought. It's fine, but what I found is I'm not. You know, I didn't think caffeine affected me, but I really think it did, subtly. And I found a lot of stuff rolls off a lot more easily now that I'm drinking this. So I'm sticking with it, and it's fine. I mean, I think it's the thought process of having the social aspect of having coffee versus the effect of the caffeine in the coffee. So I'm fine with that. We always have vinegars, be it for cooking or for cleaning. You know, ironically, vinegar, I think, is like the miracle liquid on earth. It's good for your body, and it's good to, you know, when you clean something with vinegar, the smell you get with cleaning with it is a good smell. I put peanuts basically on most everything that I eat, and certainly buy the unsalted because the ingredient is peanuts. That's it. This is really storage. So there isn't that much that I deal with over here. I can of tomato paste because I made chili once and I forgot the tomato paste, and I was really mad at myself because it was more like bean soup versus chili, and I screwed that up. So I kind of make sure that I have extra, and a lot of this stuff, you know, condiments, you know, on an as needed basis, and you know, this might be something we might buy once a year, once every 3 months, because you know, you got to have something on your French fries, air fried fries, that is. But really, that's and this is all mum and Thai. I don't really even know what's in there because I'm really kind of right here most of the time. But yeah, that's the food tour, and you know, nothing really hangs around here. We use everything, so everything gets turned over. We don't have to have like a office fridge clean where there's a bunch of science projects in there. But that's what works for us.
And the Healthy Dad 2.0 cookbook is going to be coming out. It's going to feature the portobello mushroom Sammys, the chili, the kung pao tofu. Do we have any date on when that might be?
You know, I gotta get the writers off strike and then and into production. And if we miss the Christmas rush, then, it'll be a New Year's resolution.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in our next video. Bye.
Peace out.
Woo!